We are hanging out with the bees up at Knapp Ranch in Lake Creek Valley. Joining me now, we have Carmen Weiland, and she's the estate manager and beekeeper here. And we're standing in front of a Slovenian beehive. And this is actually different than an American-style beehive. Tell us about this. It's pretty intricate.
Correct. It's a lot different than the typical style you would see in America. The bees are not as disrupted when you work them. So the bees are still flying in and out of the front, and you're actually servicing the bees from behind.
Okay.
It's like a cabinet door. So you open it up and you're only checking certain areas. You're not taking them apart. They're not getting, inundated from bees from other colonies or any wasps or any other insects. So their temper is a lot nicer as well.
And you want to keep the bees happy. And
Yes.
it's amazing the detail that goes into this, and a lot of thought. Slovenia, one of the leading countries when it comes to how to care for the bees. But tell us what they're doing on that bottom level. The bees are kind of going in and out. We decided to stay a little bit away from it, not to be in their highway. We don't want to be in their way.
So what they're doing is they're flying in, they're bringing in their nectar, they're bringing in the pollen. Sometimes you'll see them hit the front door and then drop because they're so heavy that they can't make it right to the entrance. And they're also, earlier we saw them, they were kind of clustering in the front, and that's a little bit of orientation flight. So there's a lot of new brood that are coming on, and they're doing their orientation flights. And you can see that there's a roof overhang, and the roof overhang has two purposes. It puts them in the shade by noon, so they're not working so hard in the hot afternoon. They're, instead of flying out and finding water to fan down the hive to keep it at 90 for the brood, they're actually still able to go out and fly and get all the pollen and nectar, so they're not wasting their time. And the other thing is that it heats it up in the winter time, enough for them to get out more often to do their cleansing flight. And it also protects them from the rain, so they can still get out in the summertime and do a cleansing flight during the day. So it's a great thing that the Europeans have done. It's amazing how they think about other ways to help their bees.
And then you said that you can service it from the back cupboards, and that's where you can pick up some of the products that they're making, right?
Correct. Yep. So basically in the back, if I want to go to the second level, that's where they'll be making the honey. So that's where I would check for that. The bottom level is always where your queen is going to be. So you always want to check to make sure you have a queen. You're looking for eggs and brood. And plenty of food in there for them, like their pollen is their protein, and then a lot of nectar for their carbohydrate.
Okay, and you'll notice there's a fence around this. They're keeping it away from the bears, and this is a very pretty high voltage electric fence, right? Because you do have a problem with bears.
Yes, we have a lot of bears in the area, so we have to protect our bees. So everybody who buys one of these alpine mountain bee houses, is what we're calling them, has to have a bear fence. Otherwise, we won't put it in because it's no use. The bear will get in.
Okay, and they're so fun, colorful. You've got some little murals that you got from Slovenia.
Correct.
The other beehives that are in this area, about 2 miles apart, each of them, they have their colors as well. Bees are attracted to color.
Yes, bees love color, and that was one of the first things when I went to study bees in Slovenia. They asked why Americans have all white beehives, and they said, you need to give them color. They love color. So all of their beehives have either murals or just different colors, and they're very colorful there, which is it's amazing.
Now, why does Knapp Ranch decide to do this and to, take all this care and send you to Slovenia for the bees?
So when I first started, Bud and Betsy had bees on the ranch. They loved bees. They were intrigued by them. They wanted to learn more and what we could do to help them. So our beekeeper had moved. So I was always interested. My uncle was a beekeeper in Germany in the Alpine region. So I asked if I could take care of the bees, and they sent me to classes. Then they sent me to Slovenia to learn more about the bees. And they're 100% behind everything we're learning, and they want us to help spread the word about how we can help the bees and the pollinators. And, I want America to love their bees and pollinators as much as I do.
Okay, well, if we want to find out more, what's the best source?
If you go to our website, it's knappranch.com, or we have a book, Living Beneath the Colorado Peaks. It gives the history of the ranch. So either of those, my contact information is on there, so you can always call me and we can chat.
Okay, perfect. Thanks, Carmen. Thanks for the little tour of the Slovenian Beehive House.